Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for coming. I'm very excited to share with you our brand new turnkey system that launched earlier this year. It's a fully mechanical interior wall cladding system. Before I get into it, I'm going to share with you the inspiration behind it, how we came up with it. So in 2014, we had launched our rain screen system, part of our exterior walls division. Unlike having to keep repainting a building over time, we can actually dress up the outer facade of a building utilizing glass. We have hardware. So unlike a spider fitting or a standoff where you got to pre-drill the glass, our F-clip, which is part of our rain screen system, is designed for compression. So there's no glass drilling involved. It just snaps into place, and it's just the dead weight of the glass that locks it in. It can be painted in a variety of colors, which you can use to match the glass. We have hardware that allows it to adjust up and down as well as out and in. So unlike having to paint it, utilizing a glass facade really adds value to the building. Now, the hardware itself can be adjusted in a way where each of the panels alternate in depth. As you can see here with the parking garage in Chicago, allows for ventilation. Now, in 2014, we had launched this as part of our exterior applications. Now, what's interesting is one of the very first projects that we did was a 3-story interior atrium. We oversized the clips to be able to hold all 4 corners of the glass. It's a beautiful project. You're not going to have very many applications where you can utilize such a big bulky exterior clip for interior. So designers such as yourself wanted us to come up with a much smaller interior application. So what we have here is the evolution of how we came up with our turnkey system. So as you can see here, you have your F-clip, your rain screen clip. We reduced the size in half, do it on aluminum extrusion. Still too big and bulky, we went one step further and reduced it down to just that little clip that you see there, which is approximately 1.65 inches. You see it here. So you have aluminum extrusion, and then you have your steel clip. Now, what's great about it is it's fully mechanical, so you're not adhering to the wall with any sort of permanent, silicones. It's just a quick and easy way to be able to install, be able to change out glass panels and just transform a space over time. You'll see here at the top and the bottom, there's actually a channel for LED lighting, which has a diffuser. What's great about that, it gives you about a 2-foot wash with backlighting. So that's another option for the system. How we came up with the name, you have a key and it turns. We like to keep things very, very simple. So the dead weight of the glass, it works just like the rain screen clip. It's just the weight of the glass locks it in. So you don't have to worry about a little kid coming up and turning the key and watching that glass fall out. I personally tried myself. Maybe I have weak sales fingers, but I couldn't turn it. So I have an install animation here to show just how easy it is to install. So here it is. You have your wall, you find your studs or any type of blocking behind, you drive in your hardware to install your track. You have these bottom little J-clips that support the overall weight of the glass at the bottom, and you'll have it at the top. Then you have your mid clips that just turn into the track horizontally, and then once you go vertical, it grabs a hold of the panel. Glaziers love this because they don't have to do anything, because the system comes with micro drones that just flies everything into place automatically. No, I'm kidding. But it's glaziers love it because it's not a fully concealed system, so there's a lot more forgiveness. The wall's not perfectly flat, so this kind of works along with it. Now, a lot of people ask, how do you get this last piece of glass in? So as you can see here, we have a temporary clip that doesn't have the top head in it. and you have your top J clips. So it works like a stair spindle. You put the glass panel up into it, it rests on the temporary clip. Then you put in your actual mid clips and remove that temporary clip. It's literally that easy. Now, many of the benefits, some of them I've already mentioned, is there's no glass grilling involved. It's a fully mechanical application. So you're not using sort of adhesion. It's also very quick install. And that will actually save you both labor time and cost. And it's just an easy way to be able to transform a space over time. Like you have a new tenant that comes in and wants a brand new look. It's just a matter of turning the keys, swapping out the panels. You can access any electrical behind it, or let's say you have just one piece of glass that chips or breaks at a corner. You know, you can pop it out and replace it. It's very, very simple. Now you can see just the transformation here. So we started with white back painted glass and streaky mouth bone glass, and then it got transformed into like a wood veneer glass, and then a fully backlit feature wall. Now each clip can hold approximately 50 pounds, which I just recently found out that's not true. It's 100 pounds, 200 pounds. Thank you.
Every day it changes.
Yeah. So I'm sure that many of you want to know how many clips it takes to hold each glass panel. It all depends on the thickness and the size of the panel. So on average, you're going to see maybe a 3 foot by 6 foot wide panel. You'll have about 2 clips in the top and on the bottom. Obviously, the larger the panel and the thicker, the more clips will be involved. So many applications that you can find this in is lobbies, feature walls, donor walls, interior applications, around elevator lobbies, but not in an elevator. Keep that in mind. And we just got approved for ceiling applications as well. Keep in mind though that if it's going to be on a ceiling, it has to be tempered and laminated. And there is size limitations involved. So you can go as wide as 36 inches, and each clip has to be at least 24 inches on center. Take a look at the panel orientation as well. As you can see here, the orientation goes vertical, whereas on this side, it can go horizontal. But keep in mind that the track itself will always be horizontal, because that's what's supporting the dead load of the glass. Since you're having vertical orientation here, it's going to require more clips. So that's going to start driving the cost up. To show you a little view of our system components, so you have a wall here, then you have your stud or blocking behind it, then you have your turnkey channel with the clips, you know, that you drive in to your stud. So you have your top J clips and your bottom J clips, and then you have the mid clips. We also have optional end caps and trim pieces as well. Now, it can go either direction. However, there actually is an intended way for this to be installed. So we created a little detail view on the side, which you can see that the wider ridge of the channel is going to be always on the bottom, and then the longer portion of the turnkey clip is going to be facing down, and that's what's going to capture the top edge of the glass. Now, I mentioned that there's many different components and trim pieces that go along with this. So you have your top trim, you have your kick plate, you have your side trim. It can all be powder coated in any REL color. You also have, your temporary clips, and then you have your installation block. What that block is used for is to be able to turn the key and to remove the glass panel. Because as I mentioned before, you sit there and try to do it with your hand, it's not going to work. You need to have that leverage to be able to turn that. Now, this system, where you typically see an 1/8 inch glazing line, you're going to have a gap between about 1/4 to a 3/8, as you can actually see in this little mock-up right here. So it's big enough for a little kid to stuff a little Snickers wrapper in there. Now, you and I, we would notice it. Your everyday person would not. Now, but to prevent any any fingers from getting in there or stuffing stuff behind the glass, we came up with optional cover plates. So it just snaps onto the outer portion of your key, and it can be powder coated in any REL color. So again, you can blend in with the glass or use it as an accent. Now, I'm mentioning the different colors. It is going to be an REL color. You can use it as a way to blend in with the glass or as a focal point. Each of the clips can hold glass anywhere from 1/4 inch up to 1/2 inch. Comes with a warranty. So with the glass and the hardware, you're looking at a 10-year warranty, 5-year on the LED.
What is REL colors?
That's a good question. I do not know.
It's just
REL
a
is just like our
manufacturer.
Pantone. It's the
Yeah.
European version of Pantone.
Okay, that's a good answer.
It's the European version of Pantone.
There.
So a recent project that we did in Fort Lauderdale Airport was the United Airlines Lounge, as you can see here, which was utilizing the track LED. So it was in the little channel here in the top and the bottom going up. Now there's different options in terms of backlighting. So you can have a little bit more edge lighting, or you could have even distribution of light across the full panel. So it just depends on the overall look and aesthetic that you're going for. And we can assist you with that. Obviously, different glass types is going to change the overall look as well.
So is that an opaque glass, just with the light coming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad, this is a back painted opaque glass and they will have that linear look, right?
Correct. Yep. Now, I have been mentioning, the channel edge lighting. That gives you about a 2-foot wash above and below. We also partner with Evo Light, which gives you an even distribution of light here, so you're not going to have the hot spots or any type of shadowing. It's like a foil backer that can be cut to size and applies to the wall behind it. As you can see here, it's got all the little micro LED dots.
What's our relationship?
They're here in the States. Their headquarters are in Denver, and it's a lot quicker lead time. And they have a lot of different options that can work with just about any type of project that you come across. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, what type of glass can you actually use with the system? Virtually unlimited glass options. So you can just clad an interior wall with back painted glass, and that would be your cheapest option. You can also do mirrored, etched, textured, decorative laminates, Malcolm glass, digital print, and marker boards. So you can use just about any of them. If you are planning on backlighting it, obviously you're probably not going to want to lean towards back painted mirror or marker boards, as the light is not going to be able to penetrate through. You may have like an edge ambience or something like that, but that's it. Now we have our keys to be able to hold just about any of our glass types, even like the heavy textured glass, like our pyramid glass. Now, since the system is fully mechanical and it has a demountable-ness to it, it is designed for sustainability as well, since it's easy to move and repurpose. So you can actually remove it completely if you're moving out of an existing building. Now, we have a great Benheim team that can assist you guys with any sort of technical or design, whether it's material selection, glass design, spec writing, CAD details. We also have an online turnkey quote form that you can fill out, so you can kind of give us an idea of the overall look you're looking for, and we can assist you with that. Now, I'm sure that the system looks great, but what's the pricing like? We did a little budgetary pricing guide here, utilizing a 12-foot by 18-foot wide panel or wall on both sides here. On the left, you have your optimal size, which is 6-foot wide by 3-foot glass. On the right, you have smaller 2-foot by 3-foot. Now, this pricing involves polished tempered back painted glass, which is typically low teens per square foot. Our actual turnkey system and clip typically runs closer to like, $12 to $15 a linear foot. It all comes down to the actual glass itself. So here you have 28 pieces, which are the clips. So it comes out to $28 a square foot. That's the glass and the system, not backlit. On the right, since you have more fittings involved, it went from 28 up to $35 a square foot. Now that's with matte paint. This is budgetary pricing without LEDs again, but now you have other opaque options like your magnetic marker board. You're in the range of 50 to 55, color mirror 55 to 60, translucent options. You have your texture glass, that's 35 to 40, and then once you start getting into your mouth glass, you can start getting over $100 a square foot. Again, this is just a broad, budgetary price because it also depends on the size of the glass panels that you choose. With LEDs, so you have some translucent options here. So you have your low iron texture glass. Now you're looking at 90 to 95, and it'll start going up over $100, depending on if you use Malcolm glass, some digital prints, some various decorative laminates. Now, just a quick recap of why turnkey could be the perfect solution to your interior wall cladding. Is one, it's fully mechanical. You have options to be able to transform a space over time by changing out glass types. Also, it's very user-friendly, very quick install, so you're saving time and money. Also, you can LED backlight it as well, completely transform a space over time. Thank you all.
A couple quick comments. I've seen people do this a lot of different ways. Some people like to just take the display in and show them, and I'll be honest with you, in hindsight, we think the display is actually not a great representation of turnkey because it's so small that it makes look like there are too many keys and it makes the gap look too large. So unfortunately that is what it is. We're not going to redo all those. When we come up with a new lighting solution and revise the presentation, we'll actually turn that one to just a non-lit solution with the cap on it. So you can show them how the cap works, and it'll be fine. That'll be a non-lit display with a cap. And then you'll actually have a portable plug-in light to show how the new lighting system looks behind glass. So that's going to take us a couple months to get to, but just so you know that's coming. Classic sales style, and we've been trying to assess why Brian's been doing so well and why we've not done great in certain other markets. And the only thing I can really think of is Brian has stuck 90% of the time to using the presentation as opposed to trying to just show it, either by brochure or by sample. And the presentation just covers all the details in such a logical order and has such good pictures, right? And it also follows the metric, the old metric in sales. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them, right? And the presentation does that really well. He follows it really well. He explains it really well. And so I would just urge you all to, breakfasts and vendor shows and all that are okay, but when you got the display there and you're not getting a chance to walk through this, I think you're short selling the system. So I would really try to stick it, even if it's only 3 or 4 people at a time or smaller groups, and you're just doing, a short, you can do that. You can actually do this in like 15 or 20 minutes. Do the presentation over trying to just show it with a brochure with samples. It just doesn't work as well. So that's my kind of only caveat, and that's what we're seeing now. We've been doing this for a year and a half, and he's been doing this, and it's working. And I've seen lots of people do lots of other things, and it's not working. So
It's also a matter of asking the right questions. For example, everyone can do etched glass, back painted glass. It's very commodity based now. Utilizing the turnkey system is a way to be able to lock in that spec. So ask the question, when you see a back painted job, how is it going to be installed? Like, what's the intended application behind it? Now, many people are starting to lean more towards mechanical, and so that's just a great way to be able to, slide that turnkey in there. Being able to walk in the door and show how easy the system works, and saving time and money.